I'm just shocked. I'm just flabbergasted and just
I
shocked.
miss him. If I had to ask God for one wish, it would be to bring them back. Never once hit me, never cursed at me.
April 8th, 2023 was a bittersweet day for Carole Fulmore. She was beaming with pride as her granddaughter headed out to prom, but it was also the 35th anniversary of her mother's passing. A few hours later, around 2:25 a.m. on Easter morning, Orlando police arrived at her home at 614 Grand Avenue regarding a domestic violence incident. 5 minutes prior, a neighbor named Joanne received a text message from someone inside the home asking for help.
2:20, I don't get the phone because my phone's across the room on the charger. And then the next time I pick up my phone, she texts me this message: call the police, he's shooting. By the time I got up, I grabbed my grandbaby, I rolled down on the floor, and then that's when I heard the big gunshot. Bam, 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 into the empty. So then I stayed about another 10 minutes before my husband would let me even open the door after in silence.
Shortly after officers arrived, a man later identified as 28-year-old LaCarvis Tamar Daly exited the house and began discharging at the officers, who returned discharges, striking the man. He was taken to the hospital, where he was confirmed to be gone. No officers were injured in the incident.
Hey, headquarters, we're 97. Sounds like we got it going off. Hang on. Let me see that. Hey, he's in the ground. Hey. One down.
So tonight we had a tragedy in our Paramore community. So at 614 Grand Street at approximately 2:25 hours this morning, officers were dispatched reference to a domestic violence incident. They arrived at 2:28. About 3 minutes later, upon their arrival, they heard shots fired. More officers arrived on scene. A suspect walked out of the house, walked towards the officers, shot the officers. The officers returned fire and the suspect fell.
They said that my godmom was in the house. I wasn't sure what happened, so I ran up to see what was going on.
Heartbreakingly, inside the home, police found 69-year-old Carole Fulmore, 13-year-old Damionna Reed, and 7-year-old Cameron Bouie. All three had discharge wounds. It was revealed that Carole was Daly's girlfriend's mother, Damionna was Carole's granddaughter and his girlfriend's daughter, and Cameron was Daly's biological son. The children's mother, known as Nita, also lived at the residence but was not at home at the time. It was her who initially called 911 after her mother alerted her about a disturbance in the home.
We were happy.
Darnita and her sister Nakia Fulmore are struggling to understand how their joyful home had a dark and deadly ending on Easter morning.
If we were all there, we would all been dead. I miss them. If I had to ask God for one wish, it would be to bring them back.
Their mother, 69-year-old Carole Fulmore, along with 2 children, were shot in a home at 614 Grand Street.
Everything keep running through my mind is, what could I have done?
Darnita says her boyfriend Daly never showed signs of concern, just that he was acting strange when missing work a few days before the shoot.
Never once hit me, never cursed at me.
Darnita says that night the kids were eating out with Daly. He later called her, threatening to hurt her family.
I was trying to talk him down, and then I got a text from my mom saying, help, I hear shots.
Carole's being remembered for having a heart of gold, and her granddaughter dreamed of becoming a dancer.
Damionna called her Nana. Because Nana, my mom was supposed to pass later on in life peaceful. What happened was something that I thought would never happen to me. And it happened within a blink of an eye. and it can happen to anyone. If you see anything that's just like unusual, seek help.
Another neighbor, Cecil, recalled seeing Cameron being taken from the home. The 7-year-old was rushed to a local hospital by police officers, where sadly he was pronounced gone upon arrival.
The little boy I met a week ago, they brought him out to the car, and I noticed that he was just limber, like his body was just flaccid. And so then they had put him in the car, they snatched me out, and then they rushed him off to the hospital.
Neighbors who were awakened by the discharges crowded the scene and waited along with the victims' loved ones for answers from authorities. Police announced that they were not looking for other suspects, and as of this video, it remains unclear what led to the dreadful outcome. When asked if they foresaw such a horrific incident, neighbors said they didn't. However, LaCarvis was described as someone who kept to himself.
He didn't show no signs of violence or nothing like that, so you never know. But the strangest thing that we thought was, for to be a young man, he didn't interact with nobody. He stayed to himself, and all he did was work.
A neighbor named Marjorie and her family, who lived in the duplex in front of where the tragic incident occurred, were caught in the crossfire. Luckily, none of them were wounded, despite discharges allegedly landing on a bed. She showed a news station several discharge holes and alleged remnants of 2 discharges.
There's another hole behind your head.
Easter morning, Marjorie Sullivans and her children woke up to the sound of bullets flying through the walls of her duplex on Grand Street.
One bullet is close to your daughter's bedroom.
Yes.
What Marjorie didn't know is that her family was caught up in the middle of a shootout between police and LaCorvis Daly. Daly and all the victims lived in the duplex right behind Marjorie.
Let's come here. We were sleeping, and then I found a book right here. I have to write in my purse.
Out of her purse, Marjorie fished out what looks like the remnants of 2 bullets, one from her bed, the other from her daughter's room.
Like, I don't know what was happening because I didn't know. I was not out. I don't know if it's somebody that come into everybody. I didn't know if somebody's not gonna come in here too. I was shocked.
We also see holes outside the homes. This is the neighbor's house. We count about 8 bullet holes over here and 3 outside. This is the wall to the victim's house. These 2 are the most obvious.
City Commissioner Regina Hall described Carole as a friend to so many, including her. Hill shared that Fumore was filled with joy the night she sent another one of her granddaughters off to prom. The grandmother had just posted on Facebook how proud she was of her and how beautiful she looked. Grieving family members and friends swarmed social media with tributes to their loved ones.
Is one of the sweetest persons, best neighbor I have ever had in my entire life, and I'm 66 years old. And I mean, she is the sweetest person that you ever want to meet. She would do anything for you.
Tragic event here on Easter Resurrection Sunday.
Orlando City Commissioner Regina Hill made a stop in the area to check on people in her district. She was preparing an Easter egg hunt for children just 3 blocks from the crime scene.
Trying to connect with the family, let them know that we have services available for them, from housing to mental health or whatever needs that they may have.
I don't know what's going on. Pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to the people that's in your house. All I know, this was a senseless kill.
In a press release, Orlando police shared that the officers involved had been placed on paid administrative leave, which is standard protocol for officer-involved discharge incident. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement is investigating, and Orlando police will conduct its own internal investigation. They also confirmed that the officers were wearing body cams at the time, and per department policy would make the footage available to the public within 30 days. Reed attended the Academic Center for Excellence, and Bouie attended Pine Hills Elementary, where 9-year-old Tiana Major also attended. To watch Tiana's episode, you can click the ribbon at the top right or the link in the description below. May the family and friends of Carole, Damionna, and Cameron find solace in the happy memories, and may their souls rest in perpetual peace. Thank you.